I'm just quickly going to introduce myself. My name is Katerina Romanenko. I'm Assistant Director of Youth and Family Programs here at PAFA. And Melissa Hendrickson is Family Programs Coordinator, also our wonderful art educator and PAFA alumna. So she's going to take the show because she is the one who is really working hard on making sure that camp is fun and very educational, and also, did I say fun? Fun for your kids. I'm going to work with you more than with children in terms of registration policies and all less exciting things, but trust me, I take any chance I can take to go and see camp in action. So, okay, Melissa, go ahead.
Welcome everyone, thanks for coming. So just to let you know what we're doing today, we're going to talk a little bit about what camp is, what type of camps we have, and kind of what it looks like, what to expect during a day of camp, our schedule. Then Katerina is going to talk a little about policies, procedures, more admin things, and then we'll have some time for questions, whatever questions you might have at the end. So it sounds like a lot of you are new to PAFA. So PAFA is the oldest art school and museum in the country. It was founded in 1805, and we are located in Center City, Philadelphia. And this building was built in 1876, so we've been around a long time. Our camp takes place, I think can you still see my screen? It's just being odd.
Well, I see it's loading.
Okay.
Well, you can to figure out what's going on there. I'll just finish your sentence.
Okay.
Camp take place in a historic landmark building that you might see if you pass by. And we, since the college is not taking place in the summer, we take over the historic landmark building, pretty much all of it for camp. So camp actually takes place in the studios where usually PAFA Academy students or PAFA college students are doing their art lessons, and hopefully everything will work and you will be able to see this wonderful
yes,
spaces.
so camp gets to take over our historic landmark building, which is a pretty special place. It is a historical site in Philadelphia, and you'll see some pictures later on. So camp takes over the building. They get access to all of the studios. Each camp has its own studio as its home base, but they also get access to all of the galleries, all of our community workspaces, and some of our more special places in the museum that's usually not open to the public, like our historical cast hall to work in and find inspiration from. Each week is its own fully encompassed camp. So some students are here for a couple weeks throughout the summer, depending if they're really interested in one topic. Some of our campers come for all 7 weeks, but you don't have to be here for all 7 weeks. It really depends on what you're interested in scheduling wise and art making wise. This is on the website, but this is our camps that we have this summer. We split our camps from age group to make sure each instructor is specialized for the needs of that age group and the needs of the type of art making they're doing that summer. You'll see younger camps are more thematic, so you'll have like dinosaurs, puppets, paint adventures. And as they get a little bit older, it gets more skill-based and more to what the Academy is known for, which is traditional art making skills. So building those drawing, painting, illustration and comic skills. And back this summer, we have some digital camps, which I'll talk about a little bit later on. And some of these are weeks and camps are a little bit more popular and fill up pretty quickly. For example, kind of earlier in the summer, it fills up pretty quickly. Our comic camps are very popular, graphic novels and comics and drawing. So if you're interested in those, I highly recommend signing up for them early. Also, if you go to sign up for a camp and it's full, always sign up for the waiting list, because there's always a chance that we either extend, add another camp, or someone plans change during the summer. So anything to add on that, Katerina?
No, I think that's good.
Great. And this is all on the website, but if you have specific questions about specific camps, we're happy to answer them at the end. All of our camps, like I said, take place in our historical studios of our building. This picture shows our cast hall, which is just for campers in the summer. It's a pretty special place where they get to work from cast, as the college students do, from sculptures all over the country. But each camp is set up for that age group's needs. So the younger camps will have toys and games, and each camp is set up with a rest area, cool down space. So there's places for art making, places for kind of hanging out and reading books and playing. Depending on the needs for the camp, we set up the studio for that age group specifically. And there's also time just for creative play. So kids will be making artwork all day, but it's also important to us, especially for those campers who are a little bit older, that some of them just want to put their heads down and draw all day. And we make sure that they're also spending time socializing, taking trips to the galleries, and having time to kind of play and explore and use their imaginations in different ways besides just creating art. Here's some camps in actions. You can see we have some illustration, comic camps, painting, and then working in the galleries.
And I just want to add that, I mean, I'm looking at these images and it might seem that that's kind of highly professional art making. We have campers coming from all skill levels. Our instructors are excellent in really differentiating and giving everyone to progress from where they are at. So we have very early beginners and we have very advanced campers in the same camp. And because the whole instruction is based on you improve from your own perspective, there is no real competition, and kids really they're inspired by campers who are more advanced. And there is also a lot of kind of interaction and mutual respect, and everyone is excited because they're making something that they didn't know how to make before. But again, like, I don't want you to be intimidated by the words like academy, cast hall, high level. It's really geared towards your child's skill and desires.
Back this year, which we didn't have for a few years, is our digital art camps. Our digital art camps take place in the first couple weeks of camp and the last couple weeks of camp. It's pretty special. We have some state-of-the-art digital labs in our building that is usually used for the college students, but we open it up for camp for a few weeks. There's digital drawing, painting, basic animation. So as well as being in the studios, they also get a chance to go and learn techniques and how to digitalize their artwork and add digital elements to traditional work. So it's not all digital, those weeks aren't all digital, but there's heavily influenced by some of the digital aspects of it. So here's some projects from previous years. There's kids working on stop motion, digital drawing, they do product design. So it's more of like a taste of what digital art is and how to use those tools. So then they can continue those methods at home. Some of them use apps on your cell phone. Some of them use traditional animation. So it's a little bit of everything, and it's a special experience they get to have at PAFA. They do green screens. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and just to address the probably silent question that some of you might have is like, oh, so they're going to be in front of the computer for the whole week. No, it's actually, they have set time when they use computers, but there is so much prep that goes into developing digital project that they spend plenty of time away from the screen and doing all other art camp stuff.
And then our galleries, which is a very special part. This museum is closed Monday through Wednesday, so that's kind of camp time in the galleries. We ask each instructor to involve the galleries into their instruction each week, whether that's finding inspiration from the artists, the building itself, or whatever exhibitions we're having this summer, which I'll talk about in a little bit. And it's just a beautiful space to work and be in and explore throughout the summer. And here's some pictures of them in the galleries, whether working from the galleries or just learning how to talk about art and kind of ask questions about what they're seeing, or just finding inspiration, or sometimes it's just there to go play games, go do kind of like scavenger hunts, things like that throughout the week. You can also see Wacky Wednesday. So we also have campers dress up in different themes each week, and whoever camp has the most participants gets a prize at the end of each week. And something special, which we don't have images of yet, is that we will be having a show called Rising Sun up this summer. And it's going to be pretty special because our whole historical landmark building is going to be emptied and filled with these grand contemporary installations that are going to fill up the galleries. There's going to be a pretty magical exhibition to have camp in, and I know a lot of our teaching artists are finding inspiration from those images. So keep your eyes open. We'll probably announce it in a newsletter when that's fully open. Also, expert instruction. So we do not hire teaching artists for the whole summer. We hire them for their specialized skill level of which theme camps they would be best at. So for our illustration camps, we are hiring professional illustrators and educators to come teach that. For our digital camps, the same. So each camp we hire specifically for that 1 week of instruction to make sure that they are the best fit for that age group and for that theme for that week. We have teaching artists from all over, of all different backgrounds and expertise. That are both familiar with working for museums. Some of them are school teachers, working artists, and then each camp also has a full-time camp assistant who's in the camp with them for the duration of the week. Camp looks a little different depending on what day it is, but it's pretty much broken up to drop-off time, a morning session, work period, or camp period. They get a snack break, which I'll talk about in a little bit. Then they'll have another session for art making camp activities, lunch, an afternoon session, and then dismissal. On Mondays, we have a camp orientation for parents, whoever's dropping them off, so they can be there to drop off their campers if it's their first time visiting the camp, and also get a sense of what the week's going to be like.
And I just want to reinforce here one thing. So when you drop off your kids, Monday is the only day when you actually have to park and walk inside the building. Other times, camp staff positioned outside of PAFA, and you literally drop off your child and we take them and bring them inside the camp. And same for the dismissal. Friday is probably the only day when you want to come in because that's the Friday exhibition. Otherwise, you either walk up towards the front doors and your camper is kind of walked out by PAFA staff, or you drive by and we have like line of cars and we the system works out fairly fast. So you basically get to stay in your car and just pick up your camper as we bring them to you. Yeah. So Mondays is really
Center City, so we try to minimize the amount you need to park anywhere as much as possible.
Yeah, but Monday is important because it's orientation for you, but also for us to make sure that all paperwork is correct, that we have contact information, like emergency, and we'll be in touch about that when you register, but just kind of to explain why we really need to see you with your camper on Monday and to check some of the information.
Yep. So some things to note. Snack is provided as part of camp. As part of registering for camp, we get a health form with any allergens, food restrictions, anything like that. So when we are buying snacks, we take that in mind. So each camper gets a snack during the day. Lunches have to be packed with them every day. We don't have room to refrigerate or warm them, so it's important to have a pre-packed lunch, and we ask that no one pack nuts. So nut-free camp, just to avoid any allergens. We have cold ice water to refill, but we ask everyone to bring their own water bottles. If for any reason they lose it or don't have it, we have cups available, but we ask them to bring water bottles. And all supplies are a part of the camp. Each camp room is set up with all the supplies they will need for that day or week. We have Mondays, we just talked about that. You have time to check in with the camper and go through orientation. Wacky Wednesdays is a tradition we've had at camp forever, where we have a funny thematic theme for the entire camp, and they get to dress up and do some fun activities and take some photos, and the campers who participate get a prize at the end of the week. Yeah, and also it's camp, it gets messy. They'll be painting, making art all week, so it's important to realize to bring them into clothes that they play clothes. Stuff you don't mind having a little paint or ink on, anything like that. Here's some campers playing. We have multiple areas for lunch and play, the lunch hour and play hour. Sometimes it's outside on the 11th plaza, sometimes it's in our auditorium. We also have an entire 11th floor that sometimes we'll bring up all the campers up to kind of play and spread out there. So it depends on the day and the need and want of the camps where they have lunch. And camp wraps up on Friday with our camp exhibition. Each camp works toward through the week to have some finished artwork to hang up and display, like an exhibition we would have at the museum, where you are invited, like all family and friends of the camper are welcome to come at 2 p.m. I think it's 2 p.m. right, Katarina?
Yes.
On Fridays to come see their artwork. The instructor gets to talk about what they did that week. They get to answer questions about kind of all the activities and fun they had. And it's pretty special because they have worked very hard all week and they like to show off their work. So it's a pretty great tradition. And then afterwards, you're welcome to go see the museum with your camper, and they can kind of give you a tour of what they learned from that week.
And admission is free for parents and family members that day. So it's a great kind of Friday afternoon with whole family to go and see camp exhibition and then the museum.
Mm-hmm. Additionally, camp runs from 9 to 3. Drop-off starts at 8:30 in the morning and goes till 9. Camp runs from 9 to 3. But we also have after camp available from 3 to 5:30 every day. We have our own team that runs after camp, which includes kind of cool down time, movement, other art projects. It's really based on who's going to be in camp that week of what they plan on doing. They never are watching movies or kind of just sitting there. They are always either, they can be reading, playing games, making clubs, making collaborative artwork, doing some sort of movement or play in one of our bigger common areas. But it's a great program, and that if you can't pick up your camper at 3, it is a great option.
And just to price wise, so 8:30 drop off there is no extra charge. The camp starts at 9, but if you bring your child at 8:30, there is no extra charge. After camp club is the extra charge activity.
Here's some pictures from our camp, illustration camps. Kids play. We had a trivia game last year. They were playing during dismissal. Yeah, so that is kind of what to expect from camps: making friends, making art, doing creative play and projects, and also time to kind of practice daily movement, go out, explore the museum, go play some games that get you away from your kind of art making place, to just go play.
And we've strived to, since we get kids who are very art oriented, we also have kids whose parents happen to work nearby. The goal of our camp is to show that art can be accessible, can be done by anyone. You can be highly skilled artist, or you can just have fun with different materials. You're still an artist. It's also about exposing them to history of art, history of American art, and just use art as the means of communication, either self-expression or learning about historical expression. So yeah, it's not strict, it's not art classes, it's really art camp, and we like to emphasize it because while we're emphasizing skills and they're learning a lot about art making, but it's more than that. We really try to see camp as a social experience for the summer, and also rest from school. So there is a lot of instruction, but it's very fun-based and child-driven instruction. We never force them to work on activity if they don't feel like doing that day. There is always alternative that they can do.
Yeah.
All right, I think that's the part where I take over.
Dave, you had a question real quick?
Yeah, if anyone has go ahead.
So I've already signed my kids up for camp. My son is 6 and my daughter is 7. When I've looked at the thing, it appears that you separate 5 and 6-year-olds and 7 and 8-year-olds. Is there a way for my 6, because my kids are inseparable?
You should email me. Please email me and we talk about it. The general kind of approach we have is that the age groups are, they're not set in stone. It's just an age. So kids can be a bit more advanced, a bit more, like needed a bit more social structure that fitted for younger children. So we can talk about it. If either way, like if you feel that your daughter will do better in older camp, it's the only thing that I ask you to consider is that there will be other children. So she might be more comfortable with younger kids actually, or vice versa.
Okay, and I'm sorry, I joined late. So when I didn't get everybody's names up front, I joined like 5-10 minutes late. So your name is?
My name is Katerina, but the best email to contact us about camp is artcamp@pafa.org, and you'll have this contact throughout the presentation, but it's really artcamp@pafa.org. I get that email and then I direct it to people who need to, like if there is specific question, but the registration questions should be addressed to me.
Okay, thank you for taking my question.
You're
Absolutely.
So scholarships, Katerina, you want to talk about scholarships?
Yeah, I just want to make sure that nobody else has a question about the first part, like camp structure, specific activities, age groups.
I had a question about creative play. What does that entail?
Sure. So that really depends on the age group and the instructor, but it's just a way to have a play where they're still using their imagination. Sometimes it's art games. Sometimes it's just free play with toys or what we have in the museum. The idea is just to challenge them to use their creativity even in play and imagination.
There are some camps that, for example, movie-based camps. This year we're doing Trolls. So kids really like to set up, like it's almost like we're trying to introduce performance because performance is part of art making. So they might create costumes, they might kind of work on little stories, and the kids love to perform their stories. So that's for younger children. And with older children, they, believe it or not, but we often have to kind of make them play because we need to take them away from their easels and pens and like colors and just do some socializing. So they can do different games that involve, sharing, talking to each other, kind of icebreakers, things like that, just to get them moving. We also do a lot of movement plays, just to, again, get them moving because these kids tend to stay put for a very long time. So we need to make sure that they also get exercise. And that can be from musical chairs to what's that game, like when you play music, then you freeze at certain pose and people have to guess what you froze. Yeah, so that would be our creative play.
Thank you. So one more question. I heard that the after camp there's an extra charge. Any idea on what that extra charge is?
Yes. But now you took me. I should know the answer. I'm going to answer that question in 1 second. All right.
Okay, no problem.
And we also have all the prices on the website, but we run multiple programs, and I realized that I'm blanking on that particular charge. Sorry about that, but I'll answer you in a second.
No problem. Thank you.
Melissa, you want to talk about scholarship while I'm
Sure.
looking up the after camp?
So we
All
do have scholarships. The amount of scholarship funding we have is not set in stone until later, a little bit closer to camp. But if scholarships are something you are, yeah.
Oh, I think we have echo.
Oh, thank
Go
you.
ahead.
So if scholarships are something you're interested in, we highly recommend you apply early, as we do always use all of our scholarship money. And it just might take a while for us to get back to you to let you know if you got it or not. Hold on. Our scholarships are a maximum of 80% of the week, and it really just depends on first come, first serve, financial need, and space available in the camp.
Yeah, and the approach we take, it really depends on the amount of scholarships that we get. So we kind of try to make sure that more people have access to them. Financial need is usually defined by income. But if you have financial situation, but you don't qualify by income, I suggest that you still apply for the scholarship, maybe explain your situation, because sometimes we have flexibility to give you at least partial scholarship towards the camp. And I have the answer about after camp club pricing. So from 3 to 5:30, full week, it's 5 days, it's 150 per week. And if you need to register for a single day, it's 35 per day. Okay, and again, all information, all prices are on the website. Since we're talking about pricing, I just want to make sure that I explained the camp cost structure. So the full price is $400 per week. And again, it includes all supplies that provided for camp. And we tend to provide high quality supplies because, well, again, like we kind of have academy standards. Now, if you become a member, which is $80 annual membership for the whole family, you get discount, which brings your camp price to $340 per week. So frankly, if you register for more than for 3 and more camps, it really justifies buying the membership, because you will pay for membership and you still get the discount. And you also get a multi-camp discount. So if you register, let's say you have siblings and you register for each one for 2 camps, you qualified for $10 discount off camp. So it's if you register for 3 or more camps total. So if you're registering siblings, you get the discount, as long as it comes from the same family. The person has to be same person should register children. And also I don't have capacity to apply the discount if you register, today for 1 camp, 2 weeks later for another camp. You have to register for at least 3 camps on at the same registration. All right, so scholarship application is available on the website, since it's not really clickable. So it's artcamp, pafa.org/camp. If you scroll down, you'll find the application. Melissa mentioned that we still don't have confirmation of the funding, so please be patient. I'll get in touch with you as soon as we know how much money we have and how much scholarships I can distribute. All right, so just quickly to cover the policy, since these are important things you need to know before you decide to register, unless you registered already. So I hope you read the policy. We require vaccination from everyone at PAFA, including children participating in classes. The side note, we have Family Arts Academy, which is 1 day 2-hour workshops on selected Sundays. Their vaccination is not required. Masks are optional, so it's really up to you. The small font here, again, this information is on the website, but basically we kind of following the guidelines that the city has and school have. We just ask, if you start experiencing symptoms, please don't bring your sick child to camp. I'm happy if it's very early in the camp, we can talk about transfer to another camp, or even some prorated refund, because illness is kind of covered by refund policy. But otherwise, let's just hope nobody gets sick. And we were very lucky last year. We do reinforce, like we take them to wash their hands, and we try to sanitize everything as much as we can. But yeah, there is social interaction and they are in one place, so we only can do that much. So registration changes and general refund policy, to highlight some important things to keep in mind. You can register and then you can ask me to do changes such as move to another camp or kind of switch around. As long as that camp that you want to move into has space, I'm happy to do that. And there is no real charge for that if you ask me to do the changes at least 14 days before camp. After 14 days, there are multiple components that play the role. So there is a charge of 20% of the registration fee if you ask for changes less than 14 days. So again, like if you registered and you have schedule conflict, please get in touch. I'm happy to accommodate your change if we can. Now, if you need to withdraw from the program, we do have a way to get the full refund if camp has waiting list and somebody wants to take your place. So again, don't hesitate to ask. And people who want to get into camp, it happens, people have plans changed. So if your camp that you want to register is full, join the waiting list. It doesn't hurt you. So, and I will let you know as soon as the spot becomes available, and maybe you will still be interested. Now, refund policy is a 30 days deadline. So if you do any changes before program starts, 30 days before programs, you have several options. You can just cancel this camp and keep tuition to be transferred to another camp next year or another family program. That's kind of depends on the pricing of the program, but we can talk about that. But usually it's easier to transfer to the same program. So camp gets transferred to camp, and there is no processing fee if you just keep the credit. You can request a refund. There will be 20% of the full tuition price, but we will refund you if you have to withdraw. And then you always have an option to cancel and donate to PAFA. It's tax deductible donation. So some people choose to do that. Refunds will be applied to your credit card. Just kind of want to jump ahead and mention that. So when you register, you have an option to save credit card. Now, I don't have access to that information. It's extremely secured website that processes our registrations. So, I mean, as much as it can be secured nowadays, but I just wanted to explain. So when it asks you to save your credit card information, it makes all transfers and all additional, changes to your registration easier for us. And also you get the refund right on your credit card. If you need to request it by check, it just takes longer, but it's also possible. All right, now exceptions to cancellation and refund policy. As I said, you may be eligible for tuition credits if your child becomes ill and cannot attend neither in person or virtually. We might require doctor's certification. We also had cases when there was death in the family, so obviously we'll work with you if something like that happens. And we always will give consideration for prorated refund minus the processing fee. Partially, we have to charge the processing fee because to be on that secured website, we pay our fees to be there, and we don't put these fees on you. The registration for camp is not including, it doesn't include the registration fee, but when we refund, you will lose money. So I basically try and just to kind of compensate for our expenses if it makes sense. Please request all refunds in writing. You might catch me in the hallway and tell me that you have to cancel next week camp. I won't remember. And it's just, like we have 200 campers on the camp. So please request it in writing. And keep in mind that the vaccination policy is a must as of now. So if you register thinking that you're going to get vaccination and then you don't get it, I won't be able to refund you for that reason. And also some people, please work with your spouses or your, ex-spouses. Make sure that you're not signing up your child for 2 camps. It happens. every summer I have a child who's not coming because they are actually signed up for something else. I cannot refund you on the day of camp when you realize that. And also, if you decide not to attend, that's your choice, but I won't be able to refund you for that reason. Okay, now just no, go back for a second. Important thing to mention, in very unlikely case, I have to be honest, in very unlikely case that camp is under enrolled and we are not running it, then obviously you get full refund or transfer to another camp, but that will be on us. So register early to make sure that no camps are canceled. Spread the word. It's going to be fun year.
Mhm. And to answer Dave's question, who put it in the chat, our camp, we limit camps to 15 campers per session. That is also why we expanded. You'll see that there's some weeks there's more than one option for 12 to 14 camps. It's because those are popular camps and we want to make sure that we keep the instructor to camper ratio fairly low.
Also, each camp gets an instructor and camp assistant. So there are always 2 adults in addition to PAFA's full staff. So instructors are teaching, but like all, you know, kind of.
Yes, and that also
breaks
doesn't include the extra staff that might not be assigned to that singular camp, but there's also extra staff that is there to help and be in the camp. So there's usually, I would say, 3 people in a camp just helping out and making sure that everyone's getting the one-on-one attention that they need. If you are not familiar with PAFA, we have some events, free events coming up that we highly recommend you come see the museum at. One is we have a free Family Arts Academy once a month on Sundays from 1 to 3. It's family art making. It's geared towards ages, I would say 5 to 10.
Endless.
Yeah.
Come
But
on,
anyone's welcome. We hire a teaching artist from the city to run a 2-hour art making workshop. All the materials are free. It's based off our collection. And we have some fun ones coming up. So I highly recommend you check out the website to see what's coming up. Our next one is in February. We are doing felting. And then we have one in March celebrating a new public art piece that we'll be installing in our plaza. If you have never been to PAFA before, we also have a in-person camp open house on March 25th from 11 a.m. to 12:30. You'll hear about that soon. It goes over a lot of this information, but also Rising Sun exhibition I talked about will be up, so you'll get to go explore the galleries and see what the spaces look like in person. And then finally, Spring Family Festival is a public art making festival that we hold in our plaza in Cherry Street. It's May 21st from 1 to 3 p.m. There's artists and vendors and free food and live music. It's a lot of fun. I highly recommend you put it on your calendars. You don't need to register. You can if you would like. But for both Family Arts Academy and the Spring Family Festival, registration is encouraged, but is not required. They're free programs and you're welcome to just come and enjoy the day. And if you happen to have any older kids, teens, we also have programming for them. We recommend you look on the website. We have Summer Academy and 1 week intensives. Those are both geared towards kids who older teens who may be interested in building portfolios, interested in art school, things of that nature. But if you have anyone who's older than 14, those are also available.
And I posted some links in the chat that will take you to camp information and family programs information. Melissa, just, I don't know if we have the slide or if people can find this information on the website. I just want to briefly mention that we are going to, we have a Young Artist Academy class that starts in February 11th.
Up, yes.
You want to talk about it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay.
We also have coming up is a Young Artist Academy. It's a Saturday class for ages 10 to 14. The next in our series, Fundamentals of Art series, where each 6-week course is based on a different part of art making, is painting. That starts on February 11th from And that runs from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the museum. That is also limited to 15 students at a time, and it's a great introductory to painting, and it's just a lot of fun. Also for parents, we are making Saturdays family at the museum day, so we have something for all ages, including adults, running during that time. The program for adults during the same time as that class is called Art on Broad, where you can go, you don't need any experience, and to engage in our galleries in different and fun ways. And also Family Arts Academy, as I mentioned. Does anyone have any questions about camp or other programs?
Hi, I did want to ask in regards to signing my daughter up, how advanced is the drawing, or how is the intro to drawing, or maybe the other skill above it, because she's 11, she'll be turning 12. So I'm not sure which one to sign her up for, and they are on different weeks.
Okay, so specifically the drawing ones?
Well, the drawing and also the painting as well.
I would say it really differentiates, because we do realize that each camper is at different skill level. Both of them kind of start on the same place, where they learn kind of the basics and then go into a fuller, as the week progresses, from kind of exercises to making a finished piece of art. If I would say if they are about to be 12, I think it's a fair bet to put them into 9 to 11, but you can also contact us and we can answer that question in a little bit more depth.
Yeah. I wouldn't worry about the skill level.
Yeah.
It's really more about who they're
The
going to be.
social level,
Yeah,
are
the
they
social aspect.
mature for the age? What age group would they feel comfortable socially? That's probably the bigger question.
Okay, makes sense. She'll be finishing up 6th grade at that point. So that's why I was considering maybe putting her with the 12-year group. But
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome. Anyone else have any other questions?
Well, if you come up with any questions, please email artcamp@PAFA. I'm happy to answer the questions. Anyone, again, like if you want to kind of consider, if you have questions about any specific camp or registration wise, again, we kind of staying around. You can still ask us. Otherwise, we hope to either see you at the at the open house in person,